Your willingness to continue to promote a demonstrably false narrative is alarming. The findings of the special counsel conclusively refute your past and present assertions and have exposed you as having abused your position to knowingly promote false information. As such, we have no faith in your ability to discharge your duties in a manner consistent with your constitutional responsibility and urge your immediate resignation as chairman of the committee.
Did you hear that? That silence in the room right after? That is the sound of accountability finally walking through the door. For years, we have watched Adam Schiff go on every single cable news show and promise us smoking gun evidence of collusion. He swore he had it. He looked us in the eye and said the President of the United States was a Russian asset. And then the Mueller report drops. Special counsel finds nothing. No conspiracy. No collusion. So does Schiff apologize? Does he step down? No, he doubles down. But today, the Republicans on the Intel Committee finally said enough is enough. You're going to want to stick around for the end because Schiff's response, it is pure gaslighting. Let's get into it.
I'm going to turn to our witnesses who are the subject of the hearing today, but before I do, and as you have chosen, instead of addressing the hearing to simply attack me, consistent with the President's attacks, I do want to respond in this way. My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on a Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay. My colleagues might think it's okay that when that was offered to the son of the president, who had a pivotal role in the campaign, that the president's son did not call the FBI. He did not adamantly refuse that foreign help. No, instead, that son said that he would love the help of the Russians. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion. Now, I have always said that the question of whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the proof of that crime would be up to the special counsel, and I would accept his decision, and I do. Mr. Ambassador, you are recognized for your opening statement. I will not yield. Mr. Ambassador,
you gentlemen, yield because you just made some things about all of us that I think we all should get the opportunity to respond to. If you're going to say we think, you ought to allow us to speak of what we think.
You can use your 5 minutes to speak. You attacked me in your opening statement, and
I have not had an opportunity to respond at all, especially to your statements of what we think, because no one over here thinks that. No one over here, I mean, you cannot speak for us. You cannot speak for us.
Ms. Turner, you're not recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking for your resignation today because I believe you are advancing Putin's work. I believe the chair has abused his power in these processes, and he's misrepresenting the information that we've received in classified sessions. Now, Mr. Chairman, when this body understood that McCarthyism was something to be rejected, it for years watched it. But you are using that.
Gentleman from California withdraws point of order who seeks recognition. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazars decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazars case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this, and I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you've sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce
Gentleman is
the.
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it. So it's 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to the Zwanitzer and the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet.
And
we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material. You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel, both
I'm talking about
Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who I might add tried to destroy the evidence.
I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since
I guess the answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
California is known
for months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
And I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said
accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents, because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
We're still waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Okay, folks, let's unpack what we just watched because this is textbook swamp behavior. First off, huge shout out to Mike Conaway and the 9 Republicans on that panel. It takes guts to look the chairman in the eye and say, "We have no faith in you." And they're right. Schiff didn't just get it wrong. He peddled a false narrative for 2 years. He abused his position to scare the American people. Conaway laid it out perfectly. The special counsel refutes Schiff's entire existence as chairman. If you or I lied like that at our jobs, we'd be fired yesterday. But then, oh boy, then we get to Adam Schiff's response. Did you see that pivot? It was masterful in the worst way possible. Instead of addressing the fact that his evidence turned out to be a nothing burger, he goes into this monologue. You might think that's okay. He keeps yelling. He lists out the Trump Tower meeting. He lists out conversations. And notice what he's doing. He's moving the goalposts. Before the report, he said it was criminal. He said it was treason. Now that Mueller proved no crime was committed, Schiff is suddenly the moral arbiter of the universe. He's saying, well, maybe it wasn't illegal, but it was unethical. It was unpatriotic. Give me a break. You don't get to accuse a sitting president of being a foreign agent for 2 years, and then when you get caught making it up, say, well, he's still a bad guy, though. That is classic deflection. He's trying to distract you from the fact that he has zero credibility left. And then my favorite part, Mike Turner. Talk about a mic drop. Turner called it exactly what it is. McCarthyism. That is exactly right. Schiff is just accusing people of being unpatriotic because he doesn't like their politics. He's using the committee to attack his political enemies instead of doing actual intelligence work. Turner calling him out for advancing Putin's goals by dividing the country. That hit the nail on the head. Schiff is the one tearing us apart with these hoaxes, not the Republicans. And of course, we cut to Nancy Pelosi at the end protecting him. I'm so proud of Adam Schiff. Of course she is. He's doing the establishment's dirty work. But for the rest of us in the real world, we see right through it. Bottom line, Schiff is compromised. He's a leaking machine. He's a storyteller. And he's not an Intel chairman. He needs to resign. Period. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Schiff survives this, or is the pressure finally getting to him? Don't forget to like and subscribe because we are not letting this go. See you next time.